All right, welcome to the Explainer. You know, it's funny. Sometimes the words we think we know best are the ones with the biggest secrets.
Godliness presents Proclamation to the Nations.
Today, we're going to crack open a biblical word you've probably seen 100 times, but I'm telling you, its original meaning, it might just flip how you look at the world.
So, let's get right into it. The Bible is super clear that sorcery is a big no-no, something to stay away from. But what is sorcery really? If you're picturing pointy hats and bubbling cauldrons, well, the study we're exploring today says, think again. The real answer is something way more modern. And if this source is right, it's something that's all around us.
Okay, so our starting point is the book of Galatians, specifically chapter 5, where it lists out all these things called the works of the flesh. And boom, right there in the list, wedged in after idolatry, you find the word sorcery. Now, that's what it says in pretty much every English Bible. But to really get what's being said, we've got to peel back the translation and look at the original Greek.
And this is where we find our first big clue. See, when the Apostle Paul was writing this, he didn't pick a Greek word that meant, hocus pocus or casting spells. Nope. He used a very specific, very interesting word.
The word is Pharmakeia. And what's so wild is when you look up this word in a biblical dictionary, the first definition isn't magic. It's the use or administration of drugs, or even poisoning. The whole sorcery and magic arts part, that actually comes second. The primary meaning is tied directly to physical substances, to drugs.
And right about now, a light bulb should be going off. Pharmakeia, sound familiar? It absolutely should. I mean, it's where we get our modern words. Pharmacy, pharmaceutical, drugstore. Whoa. All of a sudden, this ancient word that we translate as sorcery is directly linked to the modern world of medicine. So what on earth is going on here?
Okay, so this is where the source material we're looking at really flips the script. The argument goes like this. The real problem with Pharmakeia, it's not about chanting incantations. It's about human manipulation.
Now, the key here, and this is really important, the source isn't saying that medicine or herbs are evil. Not at all. The point is that the exact same substance can be used for two totally different things. You can use it for pure, simple healing, or you can manipulate it for profit and for control. And that second path, in this interpretation, leads to a kind of death.
One of the speakers from our source, Pastora Sandra Ribeiro, she puts it perfectly. She says, nature produces the herbs, which can be for health as much as for death, depending on who is handling it. So you see, it's not about the thing itself, it's about the intention of the person using it. That's what decides where it goes.
And the study takes this idea and applies it to our world today. It suggests that when science gets tangled up with what the Bible calls the love of money, you can end up with a system that, it creates cures, but those cures might also create dependency, or a bunch of new problems and side effects. It creates a cycle, a cycle that slowly moves our trust away from God and onto these man-made systems.
So to really get to the bottom of this, to find the spiritual root of this whole argument, the source says we have to go way, way back, all the way back to the very beginning, to the Garden of Eden.
The other speaker in this study, Vinícius, he makes this incredible connection to humanity's original choice to rely on itself instead of God. He says, and I'm quoting here, "The moment human beings administer the use of drugs in order to bring life, they will always bring death, because that's what the knowledge of good and evil does." So from this perspective, anytime we try to create healing on our own terms, separate from God, it's always going to be tainted. It'll always have some harm mixed in.
And this idea of Pharmakeia, it doesn't just pop up once in Galatians and disappear. Oh no. According to this source, it gets bigger. It actually takes center stage in the Bible's final climactic book, Revelation.
And in Revelation, man, the stakes get so much higher. You get to chapter 9, and even after all these terrible plagues, it says humanity still won't repent of its sins, including its Pharmakeia. Then jump to chapter 18, and it says a massive global system called Babylon the Great has deceived all the nations using its Pharmakeia. It's not just a personal sin anymore. It's a tool for worldwide deception.
So what is this global system buying and selling? The list in Revelation 18 is long, right? Gold, silver, luxury goods, horses. But then it ends with the most chilling item on the list, and the bodies and souls of human beings. I mean, wow. The source we're looking at suggests this is the final goal of Pharmakeia, to literally buy and sell people, to control the very core of who we are.
And the Bible doesn't just talk about the practice, it also names the person doing it. The word is pharmakeias, basically the one who mixes and hands out these remedies. And the source material offers this really powerful modern label for them, the pharmacist of deceit, the person who is actually administering this whole system of control.
Okay, so let's pull all these pieces together. What are we looking at? According to this interpretation, Pharmakeia isn't just some old-fashioned word for magic tricks. It's the engine of a huge, complex system of control.
The source basically maps out the whole process. Step 1. Humanity chooses to rely on itself, not God. Step 2. We start creating our own solutions to our problems. Step 3. Because of things like greed and ego, those solutions get corrupted. And finally, step 4, it grows and grows until it becomes this massive global system that gets all the nations of the world hooked on it.
And all of this leads to one final, really challenging question that this interpretation forces us to ask ourselves. Where is the line? You know, the line between putting our trust in the systems people have built, even when they seem super advanced and well-meaning, and putting our ultimate faith somewhere else entirely. That is a heavy question to sit with.